Hey, good morning, Pastor Steve here. Here we are back in Second Kings again, and chapter 5. Remember, Gehazi has gone out and chased after Naaman and got some goodies, and he thinks nobody's going to know. In verse 25, Gehazi went in and stood before his master Elisha, and Elisha said, "Hey, where you been, Gehazi?" "Oh, your servant didn't go anywhere," Gehazi said. I imagine that about this time Gehazi had little sweaty palms, don't you? I think he's like many in the scriptures, and we've mentioned Ananias and Sapphira and others. All stood up before the tribunal of God. And even though they sensed that the jig was up, they pressed on for a time. Somehow they thought they could convince folks that they were in the right. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't go anywhere. Their stubborn, rebellious hearts were hanging on to the bitter end. You know, God is the one who asks questions to get a point across. In Genesis 3, when Adam had sinned in the garden by eating the forbidden fruit and removing himself and us from life with God, fellowship with God, into spiritual death, he heard the voice of God in the morning asking, "Adam, where are you?" Now, the all-knowing God wasn't playing hide and seek here. He knew where Adam was. God was probing deeper and maybe asking, just like Elisha here, "Hey, where you been, buddy Rowe?" Gehazi, just like Adam, says, "Nowhere." When I was a little child, we had a great big huge wood furnace in the dirt floor basement of our house. Had a kind of a casing on the outside that got really warm. My dad had some oil pastels, kind of like a crayon thing. And I found out they were real cool if you melted them and decorated the side of the furnace with multicolored mess. I remember hearing Dad coming down the rickety stairs into the old cellar and asking, "What are you doing, Steve?" I distinctly remember, and my dad made sure I'd never forget, "Nothing." Had melted crayon all over me, you know. That's what Gehazi's doing. How do you respond when God asks your heart such a question? You know, in 1 John 1:9, we're told that if we confess our sins, God is faithful to forgive. You know that the term for confess there is to say the same thing. In other words, agree with God's assessment of the situation. Face the fact that he already knows your heart. And then finally, you agree with him. Then he can begin his redemptive work in you. Are you at the point in life when the Spirit's asking, "Where are you, Adam?" Be sure you take stock and agree with God. The answer to that may well determine your place for eternity. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.